What's up, guys? Ian of Winter Dustiff here, back with another reaction. Tonight is being streamed live on YouTube. Come join us in the chat if you want to. We're either playing games or reacting to music or videos even like this. Tonight we are reacting to the complete history and lore of Doom by the Black Mastadonte. Now, Doom is one of my favorite game franchises of all time. It always has been. I've played through every single game. 1, 2, 3, Eternal. The 2016 remake. I've played the DLCs. I even have the fucking mobile game on my phone. The most recent one, Mighty Doom. I've played every single game. I've repeated every soundtrack over and over. But the lore has always been something I've been more interested to get into. I haven't really gotten into it because, you know, shooty shooty bang bang, kill demons, blow them up. But I've always wanted to get into it, so I think we're going to be watching this video to find out kind of what's going on with it. So what we're going to do is we are going to like the video. You guys should do that far more often. And we're going to get into this thing in about 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
The Doom series is one of the most iconic gaming franchises in history. Without it, the FPS genre would not be the same. Hell, it probably wouldn't even exist. Last July, we paid homage to the series by covering the history of its protagonist, Doomslayer. It was one of my favorite Honest Gaming History episodes, but sadly, it is now obsolete. The Doom Eternal The Ancient Gods DLC dropped, so now there is more lore that we gotta talk about for our boy.
Gotcha.
Plus, there is so much we didn't discuss in the last video in regards to the game's development and its connection to other games like Wolfenstein. So today, we're hopping right back into hell to cover the history of not just Doomslayer, but the Doom series as a whole. Play that intro, son.
Alright, let's go. Yo, that beat's fire. Hell yeah.
So, before we begin, just want to say that if you enjoy this kind of content, please consider hitting that like button. It's a small action, but it really helps the channel out a lot.
I actually
if you really
just
like
did.
this content, sharing and subscribing would be much appreciated as well.
Yeah, do all that. But hold up, don't you? I'm reading this script. There was a second Doom movie?
Unfortunately.
Bro, did they not learn from the first one? I mean, was it good at least?
You know, it existed, but we'll get into that later.
That's
First, let's talk about how the Doom
facts.
series became a thing. Our tale begins in 1990 with a small group of developers from the Softdisk company. Within this group was Tom Hall, John Carmack, John Romero, Lane Roth, and Adrian Carmack. They called themselves Ideas from the Deep, or IFD.
Originally, these guys just worked on new games for Softdisk, but everything changed once John Carmack decided to show his genius.
He figured out a way to recreate Super Mario Bros. 3 on the PC. With the help of the IFD squad, he managed to create a working demo.
They sent it to Nintendo with the hope that it would lead to a collaboration. But Nintendo was like, nah bro, if people want to play Mario, they're gonna play it on our shit.
Luckily, Scott Miller from Apogee Software was watching everything from the sidelines. He liked the work of John Romero, so this led IFD to start working with Apogee. For their first project together, Tom Hall pitched the idea of a kid fighting aliens to save the galaxy. From this came the side-scrolling platform video game series Commander Keen.
It did very well. So well the squad was like, screw it, let's just make our own company.
Removing the F from IFD, they called themselves id Software. Rolled
Hell
on to leave what
yeah.
was left of Ideas from the Deep.
The first title they released as id was legendary Wolfenstein 3D in 1992. As we said in our
That's
Blast
true.
video, this is a remake of the 1981 Castle Wolfenstein that was developed by Muse Software.
To create the game, John Carmack used an innovative technique known as raycasting to map 2D textures on a 3D space. Computers at the time couldn't handle the pressure of the third dimension, so Carmack made it so PCs would only have to calculate what the player could see.
Yep.
The game's release was met with critical acclaim. Some even saw it as the best game ever created.
So the team
It
knew
was
they were
for
on
a long
something
time.
big here. After Wolfenstein 3D put them on the map, they immediately started working on their next IP.
They went from the regular war theme to science fiction and improved their 3D engine. Then merely a year after Wolfenstein 3D's release, they dropped the first Doom. The
There it
title was
is.
separated into 3 episodes and covered the adventure of an unnamed space marine, commonly referred to as Doom Guy, giving hordes of Hellspawn the business.
Like its brother game, Doom brought about significant changes to the gaming world. Not only did it help to popularize the FPS genre, but it also pioneered the idea of multiplayer deathmatches.
Within the game, 2 to 4 players can compete against each other in a free-for-all mode inspired by games like Street Fighter 2 and Art of Fighting. So when you think about it, without fighting games, you probably wouldn't have FPS deathmatches. Even more reason to put some respect in the genre.
Hell
After
yeah.
Doom's groundbreaking success, other developers started catching on to the hype and developed their own FPS games. But at the time they were known as Doom clones because they pretty much looked like Doom with a facelift.
Then in
Yeah, that's
1994,
pretty much what
id
they are
Software
at
released
that
Doom
point.
2, Hell on Earth. Like his predecessor, it was met with much love from the gaming community. It was praised for his huge and non-linear levels that rewarded the player if they went exploring. The game's success, along with that of the first one, is what got Hollywood to make that god-awful movie adaptation that came out in 2004. But sadly, after Doom 2's release,
it existed for sure.
Because id Software wanted to put more time in their upcoming game, Quake. They tapped Team TNT to develop Final Doom, which is pretty much Doom 2 but harder and with more maps. It released in 1996 with 2 episodes, TNT Evolution and the Plutonia Experiment. After this, they hired Midway to develop Doom 64, which released in 1997. Coming out exclusively for the Nintendo 64, it was the first game in the series to not be available for PC.
Players praise it for being the best looking Doom to date, but it still had the same old Doom feel to it. With there being thousands of player created Doom levels on the internet, folks were getting bored of playing higher quality versions of the same thing.
Yeah, even the story was pretty much the same up to this point. You're a badass space marine and you gotta kill a shit ton of hellspawn. The fans wanted something new, but they had to wait for it. Doom remained untouched for years with this. Then in 2000, it started working on their baby once again. They began developing a remake of Doom titled Doom 3. While still sticking to the feel of the original game, the team put more of a focus on the story this time. It released in 2004 as a survival horror FPS game, and it did wonders for the company. Today, it is its most successful game with over 3.5 million copies sold.
Oh shit.
8 months later in 2005, they released an expansion for the game titled Resurrection of Evil.
Yeah,
the
expansion pack.
Developed a bunch of spin-offs, including Doom RPG, Doom 2 RPG, and Doom Resurrection.
Fans want to hear about
I played Resurrection and RPG 1. I didn't even know about
met
RPG
with bad
2.
reception. People were calling it Call of Doom because of how similar it looked to the Call of Duty franchise. It must have sucked being called a clone of a game that you inspired.
The next edition to the Doom series didn't come until 2012, when an enhanced version of Doom 3 got released titled Doom 3 BFG Edition.
However, following this release, their franchise took another break. It needed time to figure out how they were going to flex in the industry again. After 4 years of cooking in the kitchen, they released the immediate high-octane banger Doom. For the sake of this video, we'll call it Doom 2016.
Once again, the player assumes the role of Doom Guy, who goes by Doom Slayer now. Hellspawn are out here wildin' again, so it's up to him to teach him a lesson. The game not only looks stunning, but it also sported a soundtrack that perfectly matched how intense it was. I highly recommend it if you're looking for something fun to get lost in.
Mick Gordon.
The game's success led to a VR spin-off titled Doom VFR, which released in 2017. Here, the player assumes the role of a cybernetic soldier who has to fight Hellspawn in Mars. Doom 2016's success also led to the release of another garbage Doom movie in 2019, Doom Annihilation. But get this, fam. This was the second time this movie got pitched. The director tried pitching it before, but Universal was like, bruh, do you not remember that last Doom movie? We're not doing that again. But then Doom 2016 happened and Universal was like, hold up, this could make us some money. But they should have just left it alone.
Facts. It was just not good. I don't know what it is about Hollywood and video game movies. Why can't y'all just learn from Detective Pikachu? They got it right. Anyway, after Doom 2016 hit the world like it did, it had to make a sequel. So in 2020, they released the last game in the Doom series so far, Doom Eternal. Like its prequel, it did very well. Through the story, it also revealed this part of the Doom series wasn't a remake, but a continuation of Doom 64. There was even an expansion added to the 2020 release of Doom 64 that connected to the new Doom games. But as of right now, those are all the games in the Doom series. Now, let's get into the meat of this video. Let's talk about the wild-ass lore of this series, starting with the first Doom from way back in 1993.
Alright, lore time.
The first Doom takes place in the distant future. Humans have
You did a really good job
explaining and time traveling like it's nothing.
The kind of
Union
timeline.
Aerospace Corporation, or UAC, are doing secret experiments on the 2 moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos.
These idiots keep testing the waters until Deimos vanishes. Deadass gets erased from this dimension.
This is where our protagonist comes in, the unnamed Marine. Fun fact, or theory about this guy, it's possible that he shares a connection with not only BJ Blazkowicz, but Commander Keen as well. According to Tom Hall and John Romero, many of its games including Commander Keen, Wolfenstein, Doom, and even Quake fall into the same universe. William J. Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein 3D is an ancestor of Keen, and Keen is an ancestor of Doom Guy. There's not a lot of proof back in this since the Doom timeline is hella convoluted, but to my knowledge, none of its developers came out to counter this claim. And it makes sense when you think about it. Look at how much of a badass Blazko was. The Black Air Force energy must run in the family. Anyway, 3 years before the events of Doom, Doom Guy caught a superior officer trying to kill a bunch of civilians. Doom Guy was like, well, can't have that, and beat the mess out of him. So he got in trouble, and now he's trapped on Mars working in security.
When Deimos disappeared, the scientists from Phobos hit up Mars like, bro, we're dumb. There's some wild shit coming out of the portal. We should have listened to Conscious, but we didn't, and now we're gonna die.
So Doom Guy is sent to Phobos with a group of Marines to check out what's going on.
Once he gets there, all his friends die, and he's welcomed by a swarm of Hellspawn wilding the hell out. These dumbass scientists open a portal to hell. You can't trust any of these guys in video games, son. Being the embodiment of Black Air Force energy that he is, Doom Guy shoots his way through all the Hellspawn, then finds the portal to hell.
He hops in and lands on the missing moon, but it's been overrun by even more demons. So my man shoots his way through again, then kills a bigger demon with a Mega Buster.
After that, our boy's like, wait, I'm in hell right now. The thing that sent those demons is probably here too. Yeah, I'm gonna need to kill that.
So he goes
That's
through hell,
fair.
killing Mad Hellspawn along the way, then finds the thing that planned all of this, the Spider Demon. He tries to put up a fight, but Doom Guy kills it. Mission accomplished.
Our boy finds a way back to Earth, but it turns out the mission wasn't accomplished because hell has invaded the planet. Demons and shit are out here wilding, killing a ton of humans.
This brings us to Doom 2, Hell on Earth.
Yeah.
Funny story about this game actually. It's very possible that the character you play as here is completely different from the Marine in the first Doom. The instruction manual for Doom 2 talks about how this Marine fought on the UAC Mars base, not on Phobos. For the sake of the video, we're just going to assume these are the same people, but I just thought you guys would find that interesting. Anyway, in Doom 2, Earth is in complete chaos. The leaders of the planet were not trying to deal with all these Hellspawn running around, so they took everyone left and dipped.
Doom Guys are trying to give his home away though, so he continues his demon massacre.
Eventually, he finds a portal that's causing all this. To close it, he jumps in, where he finds the Icon of Sin. He's like, leave my planet alone, then kills the thing, thus closing the portal. Regardless, he finds his way back home. Then he and what's left of the human race work on rebuilding what they can of their society.
Which takes us to Final Doom. The UAC hasn't learned shit from their past, and is still experimenting with
No
international space travel. The only difference now is that they're doing it on one of Jupiter's moons. Their experiments lead to another hell portal opening, which leads to another hell invasion.
Luckily for them, Doom Guy's working on the base. He does what he does best and commits mass demon genocide, then heads to hell to kill the Icon of Sin again. After this, the UAC shuts down because of their losses. And I mean, I get it. These guys have been spending years trying to make this one project work. But instead they keep opening portals to hell. Time to call it quits.
More like temporarily call it quits. The UAC starts back up a year later. These scientists are stubborn as hell, bro.
But this time they take their past mistakes into account. Instead of opening portals to other dimensions, they work on figuring out how to close them.
This doesn't go well either though, because the Icon of Sin is still out here being a menace. It keeps one of the testing portals open, giving its minions time to invade the Jupiter moon once again. So they call Doom Guy while he's on vacation to come and help with this mess. Not gonna hold you, I would've spit on him.
The Marine heads over to the situation, enters hell once again, then beats the Icon of Sin for the third time. He heads back home afterwards to wait until he's called for again in Doom 64.
At this point, Doom Guy's having non-stop nightmares because of all the shit he's been through. He tries to take a break since his last vacay was ruined, but he hears word that Mars is on that demon time again.
The Mother of Demons broke into the dimension and is leading another invasion on the planet. Doom Guy's like, well, I'd rather shoot my trauma in the face and stay worried about it, then heads over to Mars to save the universe once again.
He fights his way to the Mother, then gives her the business. However, Doom Guy knows this was only a temporary solution to a much bigger problem. Hellspawn are just gonna keep invading his planet every chance they get, so he decides to stay in hell to rip and tear everything here.
The Marine's violent mission catches the attention of the sister of the Mother of all demons. She's not trying to deal with Doom Guy, so she kicks him out of hell.
That's how you know Doom Guy is built different.
Back on Earth, our boy ends up discovering another portal to hell. He pulls up to the Mother's sister like, you thought you can get rid of me? Then takes her down.
Afterwards, Doom Guy continues his killing spree in hell, making sure none of these demons bring their ass back to Earth.
Years of demon slaying later, he ends up in another dimension on planet Argent Denur. This planet is home to Sentinels, a race of aliens who worship powerful beings known as Makers. There was a time when these Sentinels worshipped the planet's original gods, the Wraiths. But years ago, the Makers came in with their advanced...
Okay, I'm gonna say, so I think, like, okay. I'm gonna talk about this because this is where I was a bit confused, because the Doom series started with the Doom Marine, but oh man, oh, that's so good, actually. That's so good, because I was wondering where, like, Argent Denor and the base, like the big base, I was wondering where all that kind of came into play when it came to Doom 2016 and Eternal. So if this does go more into that, hell yeah, this is actually helping me a bunch, because I'm really into the Doom games. I really am. So let's rewind it a couple seconds.
There was a time when these Sentinels worshipped the planet's original gods, the Wraiths. But years ago, the Makers came in with their advanced knowledge and promised to bring order and prosperity to the planet.
This caused most of the Sentinels to switch up on the Wraiths and start praising these Makers instead, even though all these Makers are sus.
Remember all this because it'll become important later. Anyways, when Doom Guy shows up on the planet, he's brought before the Order of Deeg, the Council of High Priests on the planet.
They take a good look at our boy, then decide that trial by combat is the only way to prove whether they keep him alive or not.
Doom Guy bodies a trial, thus catching the eye of all the higher-ups on the planet. They decide to enlist him into the military, but sometime later, Hell invades the planet.
Yo, Hell will not leave this man alone.
Triggered, Doom Guy starts going off on the demons. He pretty much carries the whole planet. This catches the attention of the Night Sentinels, the Sentinels responsible for protecting the Wraiths. They recruit him, and for the next few years he continues destroying demons with them.
His violent quest leads him to a maker known as the Seraphim. This guy was astounded by the amount of Black Air Force energy exuding from Doom Guy, so he put him in a special divinity machine to make him an even bigger problem by enhancing his physical abilities.
So now our boy's not only the carry, but he's at full build too. He continues to lead the Night Sentinels into battle, killing hordes upon hordes of Hellspawn. His many incredible feats earned him the title Doomslayer, but after years of fighting, shit starts going south for our boy again. Y'all remember the Makers, right? They are not good folk. They're trying to collect something known as Argent Energy because their race is dying, and they need to survive. But here's the thing. Argent Energy is a combination of life energy and hell essence, and it can only be created by harvesting living souls. So under their leader, the Con Maker, they've been traveling to other planets snatching souls for their own benefit.
And these Sentinels are praising these guys. Hate to see it.
On top of that, the Makers have a deal with Hell to continue harvesting these souls in exchange for unlimited Argent Energy.
The revelation of this sparks a civil war between the Sentinels who don't want to get into the Shadow Realm and those who side with the Con Maker.
In the midst of it, Doomslayer and his fellow Night Sentinels gets into Hell by the order of Deeg. Apparently these guys found a way to take the place down once and for all.
But upon getting there, they find out it's a trap. They get locked up in Hell where they're forced to fight mad demons. Pretty much all the Night Sentinels die because they're not built like Doomslayer. The only one who survives outside of our boy is Valen, the former commander of the Night Sentinels who helped betray them.
Valen lost his son to Hell's forces a while ago, so he betrayed his own squad because the Order of Deeg promised to revive him. But the bitch-ass Order revived his son as the icon of sin. So Valen puts himself in timeout because of his ignorance, while Doomslayer continues to body everyone he can in Hell. Eventually, all the demons agree that this man cannot run free in their home again. The Makers bringing him back here was an awful idea.
So they jump him like a bunch of cowards, then lock him in a sarcophagus.
Now let's talk about what humans were doing during all this. The UAC is unfortunately still a thing.
And they still haven't learned shit. In 2095, these dumbasses went back to Mars and found out about Argent Energy. Once they realized how powerful it was, they started using it for their own benefit. But get this, these dudes knew this energy came from Hell, and they still used it. They just kept it to themselves so sensible human beings wouldn't cancel their ass.
Can the UAC even be canceled? These guys have been killed off multiple times and they're still here.
At this point, I don't even know. Anyway, after years of using Argent Energy, the USC sends an expedition team to Hell under the guidance of one of their chairmen, Dr. Samuel Hayden. They find Doomslayer's sarcophagus and bring him back to their base on Mars. One of his employees, a scientist named Olivia Pierce, has been acting real sus recently, so he wants Doomslayer on base just in case shit gets crazy.
This takes us to Doom 2016, where shit does get crazy.
Okay.
The year is 2149, and the UAC Mars base is in complete chaos. Samuel was right in thinking Olivia was sus because it turns out she made a pact with Hell. Now demons are out here running around like they own the place. In response, Hades is the beast that is Doomslayer loose in the place. Now it's back to business as usual.
Without even needing an introduction, Doomslayer begins ripping through the demons in the base.
Hayden, along with the base's AI, Vega, guides him through the base until they meet. The doctor's like, "Aight, bro. To stop this whole invasion, you gotta turn off this thing called the Well. The Well is the source of Hell's energy."
With that, Doomslayer keeps it pushing to find a way back into Hell. He makes it to the advanced research complex where he kills the cyber demon, then uses his accumulated to teleport to Hell.
There he shoots his way through more Hellspawn until he finds an item called the Crucible. It's a weapon powered by Hell energy that's said to have the power to kill the Titans of Hell. After grabbing it, he's met by Ghosts of the Night Sentinels, but he doesn't get the chance to react with them because he gets kicked out of Hell again.
He's brought to Vega's primary facility, where Hayden tasks him with overloading the AI to open another portal to Hell. Our boy does just that, but he saves a backup of Vega just in case. The AI's been mad helpful so far, so we'd rather not lose it.
A portal opens up and takes him to the location of the well. Using the Crucible, he shuts down Hell's power source. As he tries to find a way out, he's met by more Night Sentinel ghosts. Then he runs into Olivia Pierce.
She's shook because the same demon she worshipped betrayed her. But lady, you were messing with beings from Hell. What did you think was gonna happen?
Then lightning strikes the scientist, and she morphs into the spider mastermind, like in the first Doom. Of course, Doomslayer murks the thing, but after the battle, Dr. Hayden teleports our boy back to Mars in restraints. He takes a Crucible for himself, betraying our boy, and admits that he plans to use it to create more Argent energy for humanity.
Fuck you, Hayden!
Then as he dips, he teleports Doomslayer to an unknown location, and that ends Doom 2016.
That's right, that is where it ends.
The next and last game in the timeline is Doom Eternal. Sometime after Doomslayer was banished to another dimension, he managed to find a giant space station dubbed the Fortress of Doom. Vega was installed into the station, and now our boy uses this place as his HQ.
He finds his way back to Earth only to realize that Hell is invading the place again. It's Doom 2 all over.
The Khan Maker set her sights on planet Earth and is trying to harvest the living souls here, so she sent the Order of D to lead Hell's forces into the planet. Doomslayer's like, well, can't have that, then heads to his home planet to continue blowing demons up.
He starts his crusade with Deeg Nylox. After killing him, the Khan Maker moves the other priests into hiding. She knows this man won't stop until he kills everything related to Hell.
To find them, Doomslayer goes looking for a celestial locator. He finds it on the sentinel planet of Exaltia, but he needs a power source. His fetch quest then brings him to Hell where he finds Valen. This guy's hey man, sorry for betraying y'all and shit. Then he gives him the power source for the locator, along with a dagger that he'll need to kill the Icon of Sin.
With that, Doomslayer uses the locator to find Priest Renak and murk his ass. In response, the Khan Maker throws the last priest somewhere else so our boy doesn't get his hands on him.
Vega informs him that their best course of action now is to talk to Samuel Hayden. Though he may be a dick, he's their only kinda sorta ally who knows a lot about Hell. So he heads to the R complex where he finds the Doctor's destroyed body. It turns out that after Hayden banished him, he led the charge against Hell's forces during the invasion with the Armored Response Coalition. Using Argent energy, they managed to hold off the demons, and Hayden was seen as a savior among the Earthlings. However, everything changed once Hayden fell in battle. Now he looks like this.
Can't say he didn't deserve it though. This is what you get for banishing a hero of Black Air Force energy, Hayden.
But once our boy finds the body, it's revealed that Hayden planned for all of this. He knew Doomslayer would eventually come back, so he had his staff wait for him with the Crucible from Doom 2016. Our boy doesn't give a shit though. He takes Hayden and the Crucible, then heads back to the crypt.
There he uploads Hayden to his fortress's interface. The Doctor tells him that the last priest is back in the city of Sentinel Prime on Argentineur. However, the only way to get there is through a portal in Mars's core. Hold up. Why is there a portal to Hell in Mars's core? Who the fuck put it there?
At this point, I think we can assume it was a UAC. So now that Doomslayer knows where he has to go, he blows a hole into Mars in order to get to its core and find the portal. My man really just brute forced this problem, son.
He makes the Sentinel Prime where he kills the last priest. However, this act excommunicates him for the Night Sentinels. But I'ma be real. I don't think Doomslayer gave a shit about these guys to begin with. Pretty sure the only reason he joined them was because they were also trying to give Hell the hands.
With the last priest dead, Doomslayer heads back to HQ, but the Khan Maker shuts the place down. She's sick of it messing with her plans.
Luckily, the Crucible is enough to power the fortress, so he uses that as his energy source for now.
But with this Crucible occupied, he needs another. He heads back to Argentineur where he finds another Crucible that he used long ago to kill a Dreadnought from Hell.
After taking it, he beelines into the realm of Urdak, the home of the Makers, to put a stop to all this hell shit once and for all. Once there, he finds the Khan Maker trying to awaken the Icon of Sin. He stabs the Icon's heart using Valen's dagger, thus freeing him from the Khan Maker's control. But this also leads to the eradication of the wall between Urdak and Hell.
So Hell takes this opportunity to invade Urdak. Hell really said, screw our deal. We need more souls.
Angered, the Khan Maker tries to come at Doomslayer, but he kills her ass. Then Doomslayer makes his way back to Earth to stop the Icon of Sin, who is currently running rampant on the place.
Of course he ends the thing, but there is now a much bigger problem. Hell's invasion of Urdak has got them feeling greedy, so now they're taking over all the dimensions. Doomslayer is done with dealing with Hell's shit, so he and Samuel Hayden team up to find the one being who can stop Hell's conquest, the Seraphim. If you don't remember, this is the Maker that put our boy in that machine that enhances abilities.
With the help of the Ark, he finds the Seraphim in stasis. Hayden instructs him to upload him into the being, thus revealing that Hayden and the Seraphim were the same this whole time.
The Seraphim was tasked with helping him out throughout the game. We'll find out why soon enough. But after his awakening, he tells Doomslayer that he must repay the Father for all he has granted them, by bringing him back to his throne. To do that, he needs to retrieve the Father's Soul Sphere located in Hell. So our boy makes another trip to Hell, but he thinks his whole Soul Sphere plan is sus. Once he finds it, he destroys it instead of handing it to the Seraphim.
The Soul Sphere of the Dark Lord then reveals itself to him. He grabs it, then leaves the Seraphim to take it back to the Ark carrier.
Almost everyone dips when they see Doomslayer walk in with this thing. The only person who stays is an intern, who's honestly just trying to help our boy fight the good fight. The intern states that the Dark Lord is pretty much the ruler of Hell. Doomslayer's plan is to revive this dude and kill him.
I did remember the intern,
The only place where he can revive Hell's ruler is in Urdak, so he goes there only to find the Seraphim waiting for him.
Angered by Doomslayer's actions, the Maker transforms to a demon thanks to Hell's corruption of Urdak. Our boy defeats him, then revives the Dark Lord in a place known as the Luminarium.
Turns out the Dark Lord looks just like him. The Father even tells him that this is pretty much Hell's version of him. As usual, Doomslayer is ready for the smoke, so he tries shooting the guy, but the attack does nothing. The Dark Lord says that no blood will be spilled here. If he wants to throw hands, then he'll have to meet him in Amora, the capital city of Hell. Once there, they will engage in ritual combat.
With that, Voldemort leaves and Doomslayer is transported back to Argentineur. His journey to Amora leads to Valen again, who gives him a Sentinel Hammer. Then he finally runs into the Dark Lord, and this dude drops the biggest plot bomb we've seen yet. Apparently, this guy is pretty much God. His original name is the Voth, and he was the first being ever created. He formed the realm Jakkat along with all of its people, but he had one problem. Everyone was mortal, and the Voth thought that was stupid. So he created the other realms, including Urdak, to solve this mortality problem. Eventually, the Makers found the secret to immortality, but they didn't want to share their discovery with their own creator.
Instead, they betrayed Devoth by locking him and Jakata away from all the other realms. Then they stole his godly powers and gave it to a maker who became known as the Father. To add insult to injury, they even wrote history to make it seem like this Father was the creator of all things. This is why the Makers were seen as godlike beings, but in reality they were just some sneaky-ass liars.
This turn of events pissed Devoth off beyond belief. His rage was so fierce that it consumed all of Jakad, turning it into hell. Then Devoth devised a plan. If he can't run the universe he created, then no one will.
This is where Doomslayer comes in. Devoth saw this dude's black Air Force energy and was like, "You're the perfect weapon for my revenge." He manipulated the Seraphim into giving the guy godlike powers back when he was fighting with the Night Sentinels. This whole time, Our Boy's purpose was to kill the Makers and the false father the Makers created.
And to add to this whole plot bomb, it's also revealed that Vega was the father this whole time. Back when humans started learning about Argent energy, the father sent the Seraphim to teach the humans how to use it. To do this without freaking anyone out, he created his own human body and became Samuel Hayden. As a human, he put the consciousness of the father into the AI known as Vega, in order to help him hide from the Dark Lord.
So even though Doomslayer's purpose was to destroy the Makers, he was actually receiving help from them this whole time.
Yup, but you know what's the kicker to all this? Doomslayer is unfazed by everything. Nothing from this plot bomb makes him utter a word. Right after learning the truth about everything, he engages in an epic duel with the Dark Lord, then wins.
This man just beat God.
Then Doomslayer takes off his helmet and gets a glimpse of his face in 4K for the first time. Devoth asks him if he has anything to say before killing his creator, and Our Boy just gives him a simple no, then stabs him right in the chest.
Demons all across the universe begin to perish under the Dark Lord's defeat, but Doomslayer is affected by this too. The machine used to power him up used Devoth's power, so thanks to their connection, Our Boy knocks out right after the fight.
The Makers find him and proceed to put him in a sarcophagus. They plan to keep him locked in until the universe needs him again, and that is how the story of Doom ends.
Yeah, I do remember.
It's crazy how the Ancient Gods DLC wrapped everything up. To think, this is all God's plan.
And Vega being one of the Makers was a wild-ass reveal.
Facts. I wonder if we'll see Doomslayer again though. Like he already beat God. Who's next?
Knowing these dumbasses at the UAC, they'll probably break something in the universe while trying to research shit they shouldn't be. It's just a matter of time. But let us know if you think this is the true end of Doomslayer's story in the comments below.
And now that we have the full story, tell us your thoughts about Our Boy. We think he's the leader of the 4 Horsemen of Black Air Force activity. But if you have someone else who deserves that title, let us know. With that, end screen.
I'd say Chief is up there.
What's going on, fam? Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Honest Gaming History. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget.
Alrighty. Holy shit. Well done. Like, there was a lot of info there. A lot more than I thought there would be, because I thought it was just going to be going through the lore stuff. But nah, they broke down the real life timeline too. The release of the games, how they were, paced and scheduled, which is wild because there were some entries in there that I didn't know existed. I think it was like Doom Heroes or something like that. Doom RPG 2. Yeah. I didn't know that there was the second one. I don't remember if the first one was that good or not. I don't think it was. But this was a very enjoyable video. All throughout, the humor was on point. The story, like, explaining everything was beyond on point. I was, retaining everything and understanding everything very well. As I said, the humor was on point. The music choices for everything was great too. And I do really, really love Eternal's Ancient Gods DLC. Like that, the moment where he takes off the helmet and just stabs him in the gut is just one of my favorite moments. Genuinely, probably in gaming, it came so quick, and it was so good. Wonderful video. I am actually gonna sub, because that was a really in-depth video. Fuck yeah. Alrighty. I've been Eden of Winter Does Stuff. We reacted to the complete history of Doom from the Black Mastadonte. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment below what you thought of my reaction, the video, what you want me to react to next. We've got a lot of stuff coming, so, yeah, that's about it from me. Peace. In due time.